Alright. Hey, Jackie. Okay, there we go. Okay. Sorry, we're just testing it. Okay, so, there's a couple things that we talked about. The first thing is movement tracking, and there's a few ways that we're going to come to movement tracking. So I'll do it this way here. You know what? So we talked about movement tracking, tap 868, defiring, and prefire. Those are the three things we talked about. Movement tracking, tap AD firing, and pre-firing. Just to give you like an understanding of what I'm talking about. The three things, like movement tracking, actually tracking someone sliding around on your screen, like doing all kinds of shit. If they're doing jump stuff and stuff like that, or like they're crouching down, you want to be able to track them smoothly. Sometimes, you know, they're obviously with more sleep and more time, just to warm up. Like, I'm amazing at this, and some days I'm terrible at this. So this is just one of those things that, like, I feel like no matter how much practice you have at movement tracking, because of the randomness of people's, like, CSGO movement, like, imagine, you know, you're walking down a corridor and you're looking at an angle, and so right now, like, while you're scoping that angle, you can watch, like, the guy's head move slightly, like slightly to the side, right? But then if he hears something else, he might be AD this way, and then, like, if you're trying to track his head moving down the corridor, all of a sudden his head just, like, does this weird jump thing, and he's just moving in this other direction. So this will help that specifically. This is straight from the caboose, and I've also seen other like players do this, like professional players do this. So when I do this, what I'm doing is I'm moving in and out close to the guy's head, and all I'm trying to do is leave my crosshair right on his head. I'm trying to do it very smoothly, and like we talked about with the smoothness of movement, what you're trying to do is get your wrist not stiff but firm in a way that allows you to, like, smoothly track, reset, track, reset. Like, so every time I stop moving my hand, like, this is just a swipe. I swipe, pull back, swipe, pull back, slow swipe, pick my mouse up and reset, and so just practice resetting. That's all you have to do. And admittedly, like, there are times that I'm, like I said earlier, like, there are times that I'm amazing at this, even after, like, not practicing at all. And then there are times that I'm, like, dog shit at this, even after fucking practicing all day. So, I don't know why that happens, but, you know, like you said, it's sleep, it's physiology, it's what you eat, it's, you know, what you drink. Drinking a lot of water. I've noticed that drinking water consistently helps my aim like crazy. I don't know why, but it's, like, a focus and hydration thing. So, in order to make this, like, easy to apply to the game, most of the movement that you have in the game is not necessarily like a left and right. Yeah, I'm recording something for you right now. Most of the movement that you have is not like a left and right situation. Like, a lot of it is stuff like having to do this. Like, all of a sudden, you know, and if you look at what we just did on the screen, like, it wasn't this, like, really smooth head thing. It was like smooth, boom, smooth, like having to react to people doing dumb, weird shit. And when you spend a lot of time on this, like, you'll be better at this with less practice than I've ever been. And I haven't practiced this in a little while, and that's part of the reason that I've sucked a little bit lately. But this will clean up your anti-ecos. This will really help you with your anti-ecos. So there's a couple ways to do this. To get really specific now, I start with what I've just shown so far, where I'm just, like, coming in and out. I'm sliding by people, right? And then once I'm in and I'm, like, really ready to, I'm like starting to warm up, and my focus is now on speed and reaction, I force myself to do this really quickly, as quickly as possible. When I'm really practiced, I can literally put my crosshair on this guy's nose and do this for, like, 30 minutes at a time. I've done it before. Like, and obviously, like, as you can see, my crosshair is fucking waving around and shit because I'm just playing like garbage right now. It's just bad. But, like, over the summer, when I was practicing like crazy, I was doing, like, 2 hours a day of practice sometimes, of literally just this kind of stuff. I would literally leave my crosshair on his nose, and it would just not move. Like, you would almost, like you just wouldn't see it move. Almost as if he wasn't moving, and, like, everything was just moving around us. That's how, you know, that's how good I got at it. And that's how you become a better like eco fragger, because you're going to be able to trace this like really lightning fast movement, and it's all about focus on your crosshair. Also, when you're doing this, like that's the other part. What you're really trying to do is keep your eyes literally focused on your crosshair, not necessarily on the crosshair itself, but like literally physically like glue yourself to your crosshair so that you can't get lazy. Because you see all the times that like I come off to the side and my crosshair is like here or here or here, like I would start slowly and really practice just like put the fucking crosshair on his nose, and every time that you miss it, just like gently take your crosshair back, put it on his nose, start over. You know, like that's literally how I started with this. And then I forced myself to do like the quick practice like this, and then kind of shift out and come in, so that I'm forcing myself to move my hand and my wrist at different paces, because that's part of anti-eco frags, and that's part of pistol rounds, and that's part of like just tracing any movement at all. And this will make you better at tracing all movement. Okay, so that was, what did we just do? We just did actual movement tracking. We're going to talk about tap AD. All right. So this, for me, this exercise is all encompassing. This is all in one, and don't worry, this isn't going to be any longer than it needs to. This exercise is all encompassing. Once I've got this down, we're good. We're like ready to go. There's two things I like to do. I forgot to grab a deagle, sorry. There's two things I personally like to do. I personally like to track, hit the opposite key, fire. Track, hit the opposite key, fire. You can do it at different ranges. You should do it at different ranges, rather. And when you get really good at it, this will actually make you good, like better. This will give you a better, steadier right hand as well, because now you're incorporating the last thing, right? Which is the stutter step. So you want to be able to walk, stop, fire. Walk, stop, fire. So basically, like, you just keep going, fire. Keep going, fire. And the faster you get at this, the more, this is actual movement. Like what I was talking about earlier, this is how you get good at Counter-Strike movement. Like being able to release the gun, release the key and fire at the same time. Release your counter-strafe, fire at the same time. And when you combine this with the ability to flick, which I'll show in a second, when you combine this with like a strong ability to flick, like this is a huge part of being very fast at the game. And it's not necessarily like the fastest thing ever. It's just like you're mildly fast, just fast enough to confidently stutter step and combine it with the flick. When you do this stuff in conjunction with all of those exercises in Cabooses' video, like you'll see what I mean. This shit'll make you better. It's just techniques, like not just shooting bots. You know what I mean? Okay, so last thing, where are we at? We are at, okay, we're almost at 10 minutes, and I wanted to end this before 10 minutes. So speed 5, AD. There's a couple things I do. Sorry, speed 5 random, and I'll literally just like movement track across the fucking like the whole screen. Sometimes I'll start oops, what the fuck? I can't do this and talk at the same time. When I start, I'll start with speed 3 random, right? And you want to just like slowly set your crosshair and shoot. The objective here should be getting like 100% accuracy.
Hey, I'm gonna go shower, bro.
Where the fuck is this?
Thanks for everything you're doing. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. No, no worries.
I actually like really appreciate it.
The video will be up tonight. I'll put it up in a little bit. But sorry. So what we're all about here is the 100% accuracy, single shot, and you force yourself to track this out. Force yourself to track the ducks. No problem.
Sorry, everything with the team didn't really work out.
Nah, it's all good, man. And also track the stutter steps. Jesus Christ, I'm bad. Nothing. I'm good. Sorry, I was like holding on my push to talk by mistake.
Alright, I'm actually gonna go. I need to stand longer.
Alright, man. Peace. So, I don't do like too much of this because it fucks up my wrist. Like it makes me make my wrist too stiff, and you really shouldn't. This is really all about like getting loose, in fact. Getting loose, but getting steady. So moving in the other direction, now that we've you work on this for just a little bit. I would do like 10 to 15 minutes of it tops. And it's a good kind of thing to do while listening to music because it's actually pretty easy to zone out and do it, and that'll actually literally make you better. The next thing I do, I turn off random, go AD, speed 5. This is our last topic here. What the fuck did I put that last topic in as? This is all just pre-firing, I believe. So you talk specifically about tracking moving targets across the screen. And what I would do for myself is like I literally practice just like watching these targets fucking bounce around. They move unrealistically fast. So I track them moving unrealistically fast. So the settings that I've used to help me kind of negotiate that on purpose are the peak spray rolls, 5, AD, and then what I really want to do here, what the fuck, there we go. What I want to do here in order to properly respond to things that are going to be coming in, moving, like someone wide peeking me, this is pre-fire practice, not these retards in the corner. So stand at a position where you can't actually see past the wall and let these guys swing around the wall on you and react and fire. It's a little bit of pre-fire and it's a little bit of reaction. It's equal parts. And honestly, when I'm on, like you just saw, I just 2-tapped without even thinking about it. When I'm on, I'm killing like 2 or 3 people at a time. I'm killing the first 2 with taps, and the third guy is a spray transfer. Eventually, because of the way that this AD function works, they all stack up in the corner. That's why I set the 3 walls off. But, so the other thing that this is doing for me is this is forcing me to keep my 2 or 3 taps, my bursts, very steady, right? So if I come over here and look at just like a blank portion of the wall that the bots really aren't going to run past, right? I want to be able to have that tight radius no matter how far I'm bursting. And, you know, I don't think that moving targets themselves in aimbots, because of the way they move, they don't move of their own accord. They're like programmed to move, so they have like weird movement. But so as a result, I don't think that spray control like at that range against moving targets is as accurate in aimbots unless they're standing still. But like sometimes right now my spray is dog shit because I haven't really practiced spray control in a little while. But even like once they're just out of the open and moving, I find this helpful anyway. Not this corner shit, just like anything that they're doing out in the open. And I do this with the deagle a little bit as well. Again, it's about gently snapping to the head, 1 click. And you don't have to hold that super tight angle. Hold whatever's comfortable to you. And you can try this in both directions. Oh my god, I'm actually really bad in this direction sometimes. Because when the bot releases, if you look to the right, like they all go so fucking fast to the right. But it makes it hard. Because all the fucking bots move left. This is annoying. But that's it.